Hi, I'm Cate, and this is my bio. I grew up in Sheffield, England, an industrial city in the north of the country that was once dominated by the steel industry. That industry hit a slump in the 1970s, and the Sheffield of my childhood was marked by mill closures and high unemployment. Sheffield was also a city that was ringed by mining towns. One of my most vivid childhood memories is of being on the top deck of a double-decker bus headed into the city center and passing a long line of people snaking out of a red brick building around the place where we were going to get off. I asked my mother what was going on, and she said those were the miners and their families, and that was a soup kitchen. It was during the miners' strike, and I immediately knew my allegiance was with the miners. It's one of the most foundational political memories of my life. I'm a first-generation college student from a working-class family. I attended college at Nottingham University in England, where I majored in American Studies and minored in trying to figure out how to work for a living without generating profit for a corporation. In my senior year, my university announced that one person from either American Studies or History at Nottingham would get the opportunity to go to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and enter their master's program in history. I applied, figuring that if I got into the program, I would live abroad for a couple of years, I would broaden my horizons, and I would come back with a new qualification. I got the fellowship and I moved to the United States in 1994. The moment that I stepped into a classroom to teach at UWM, I realized I had found my home. I loved teaching. I was tremendously nervous. I was only a couple of months away from having graduated myself, but I loved the interplay between students and myself and the challenge of making our classroom interesting, useful, and meaningful. It's because I love teaching college students so much that I applied to PhD programs, and I was lucky enough to be accepted at the University of Iowa. I lived in Iowa for 9 years. I worked on my PhD and volunteered hours and hours for local political candidates. I considered a career in politics instead of history. I was very heavily influenced by the vision of public service found in the TV show The West Wing. But the 2004 presidential caucuses in Iowa generated such ugliness between the candidates that I reconsidered. I changed my mind, recommitted to history, and landed my first position at Knox College in 2005. I've taught at Knox for 12 years, and I'm now the Bright Professor of American History and Chair of the History Department. I'm a long way from Sheffield, and that often stops me in my tracks. I feel very lucky to be part of the Knox community. Because I know what it's like to be the first in a family to go to colleges and the challenges that it involves, it's really important to me that first-generation students are welcomed at Knox. And that's why I've helped direct the Spark Summer Bridge program for the last 3 years. I'm committed to doing my part to make this college welcoming for everyone, including students who feel marginalized because one or more of their social identities. That's one of the reasons why I co-direct the college's Social Justice Dialogues program with Professor Gabriel Raley in sociology. Otherwise, I love Captain America. I bake incredible orange and cranberry cookies. I'm learning to play the banjo. I can almost pick out a couple of tunes by now. And I have a beaten up piano that brings me great joy. I knit slowly and only in the winter, paint now and again, and I'm a world-class napper. I drink strong black tea in the morning and decaf lattes when I come to work. I have a small, lovely dream of owning a rescued greyhound one day, and hope that maybe in the future I'll come around to enjoying weeding my garden. You'll often find me hanging out with friends over dinner, watching shows about tiny houses, and begrudgingly walking around my neighborhood because I hear that exercise is something that's good for you. I love shoes, and I have a lot of them, and can debate minor details about the Marvel Cinematic Universe for hours. You'll get to know about me more in the next few weeks, but if there's something that you're curious about, just ask me.